What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Bourbon and Bullshit, the podcast where everyone's welcome to the table to share a good conversation, a great drink, and even better company, and a little bit of BS. So grab a seat, pour up something neat, and welcome to the show. Welcome back to part 2 of Bourbon and Chef's Table, where we're returning with our favorite restaurateurs, foodies, favorite people that would tell me about food that I've never heard in my life and tell me about all the experiences that I should have. Sherry, welcome back. It's been 14 seconds, but say hi again to all the listeners at home.
Hello again.
Yeah, so last you left us, we were discussing some great details about all the money that I will never spend at restaurants, but I completely co-sign. And we're also here with her significant other, the man who squats more than I'll ever weigh. Brian, our big booty Judy, how are you, sir?
I'm doing very well.
Fantastic to have you guys back, man. So last you left us, we were talking about several locations that they would want to take their friends to. And, you know, the drinks that they would recommend or the bars that they would go to. And, of course, this week's episode is filmed in front of a live studio audience. My significant other, my better half, is in the corner laughing at my antics. Rosanna, just yell, hi, everyone.
Hello.
There we are. So during the break, we made a different cocktail. So one of the things I have been able to enjoy with, of course, our friend Brian, as he talked to you about, what was the name of the book that you, the Cove? What was it?
That was Smuggler's Cove.
Smuggler's Cove.
It's based on a bar as well as a book that they published.
Perfect. And that's heavily tiki drinks, right?
Exclusively, yes.
Exclusively. So I had this plan for you guys. I wanted to make a bourbon tiki drink that felt right for you guys. So today we are enjoying the Tiki Classic, the Port Light. So for those who do not know what tiki drinks are, it's basically really strong, fruity, sugary, delicious drinks.
That they are.
There's going to be a whole excerpt on that at some other time. But the Port Light is one of the few tiki drinks made with bourbon rather than rum. We talked about how rum is a lot sweeter, so you can get away with masking a lot of that bite and being able to just mask a lot of the burn, right? You can't necessarily do with bourbon. Now, predominantly, most of these drinks are made with rums, white rums, dark rums, spice rums. Yeah. This one, the Port Light, made with bourbon, was developed by Sandro Conti for the Kahiki in Columbus, Ohio, in the early 1960s. The Kahiki was one of the last major tiki temples, a multi-building complex topped with a 3-story tall fireplace in the shape of a Maui. Sounds like a fucking great time.
I would love to visit it.
Yeah. Even in that, I'm like, shit, maybe Ohio's better than I thought it would be.
Even though it's in Ohio.
That's Ohio.
It's Ohio, but 3-story fireplace shaped like Maui?
There's what is it?
I would like to visit it still.
There's a new place in South Florida. Well, it's old.
Yeah, but this one's Ohio.
I'm not going to Ohio. There's one in South Florida that's being reconstructed right now.
Oh,
because they had some problems.
Everything in South Florida has problems.
Well, yeah.
Which specific problems?
AKA bath salts. So, guys, so if you want to make this cocktail at home, we made it in one of the variations. This one's in a blender, which I did not know how to work because I don't use our appliances in this house. But it consists of 1.5 ounce bourbon, 1 ounce lemon juice, 0.5 ounce passion fruit syrup. I got mine from Lib & Co. Shouts to Amazon for getting here really fast. Stuff is amazing. And a 1/4 ounce grenadine or raspberry simple syrup. Combine all ingredients with a handful of crushed ice, blend for 5 seconds, pour unstrained into a chilled rocks glass, and get drunk. That last part was me, but this drink is really sweet, really nice. Masks a lot of the strength that comes with it. I'm loving it. Sherry, what are your thoughts on the Port Light made freshly here?
It's delicious, but I love tiki drinks. They're my thing.
What's your favorite tiki drink?
Technically, the Saturn. The Saturn is one.
I love how Brian looked at you like, listen, lady, I learned how to make this one for you.
that was our Tori takeaway. because we drilled down. And they had a takeaway version of it during
the vid.
And we
Drilled into
down.
the recipe.
We figured out the recipe at least to the specs that they gave us, and we matched it.
Nice.
It doesn't taste the same anymore.
It never tastes the same. It never tastes the same as the place you go to.
Well,
the first one.
The first time.
I should say that we drilled it down to exactly what they gave us.
Yes.
At that time.
Yes.
And since then, they have definitely modified the recipe because it now tastes different at Tori Tori. Even though my recipe has not changed, because I wrote that down. It's
on
now,
a whiteboard.
Yeah.
It has not been wiped off.
I mean, it is in a whiteboard, but it's kind of burned in because I never wiped it
You
off.
never wiped it off? Oh, you had that fucking shadow of what you wrote. But Port Light was one of the cocktails when I was exploring Tiki.
Yeah.
Which exclusively I wanted to make sure I had for you guys here. And I still want to stay on brand a little bit here and there. I've been, trying and dabbling some other shit because this is my show and I do what the fuck I want. But I was hoping you guys would enjoy this one. There's a little part of me that assumed you guys would have had this before, but I was hopeful that I would be the first to hey, try this. Oh,
It's in South Florida.
that's in South Florida.
It's currently being rebuilt.
Yeah, this is really bad podcasting. She's showing me the mic eye for.
My God.
No, not a problem. We could send me that and I'll link it and maybe we can make it a trip. We have a mobile recording. Brian, what are your thoughts on the Port Light?
So I would definitely say that your blender version is a lot better than my shaken version. Almost 4 years ago now. So I would definitely say that it is a lot better. It reads a lot better, and
As a slushy.
I'm not sure exactly which part of the cocktail is reading a lot better. Just it's a lot more coherent. Maybe it's just my palate of understanding what's actually in here, but it definitely is more bright. It definitely does have the passion fruit. Definitely does have that whiskey sub notes of all of that bourbon, all that char.
Yeah.
So it is a very pleasant cocktail.
Good,
I enjoy
I'm
it.
glad. And for any bourbon purists that are listening to this, I'm going to tell you something that's going to make you pissed. I used Eagle Rare because this is my show and this is my bar. We use what we want. So I use something and people are like, you're supposed to sit that neat. Fuck you. This is my show. Try it. Actually, I'm really enjoying this. Rosanna, give me a thumbs up if you really enjoyed this drink. 2 thumbs up. She's saying that because I'm going to marry her, so she has to agree with me. But so far,
it was legitimate 2 thumbs.
Yeah, legitimately 2 thumbs up. This drink is like really fun for those who haven't tried tiki drinks. This place is downtown. What's it called? Aku Aku. Aku Aku.
There's Permanent Vacation, and then there is Suffering Bastard in Sanford.
There are a couple locations here in Orlando, Florida, and Sanford, Florida, which is still Greater Orlando. I don't care what they say. You're one of us.
Yeah.
Not separate. You can try these tiki style drinks, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. I understand that some bourbon purists might want their shit neat and never mix with anything. Try something new. Have fun. This is a fun cocktail for summer mainly, but I don't give a fuck. It's Florida.
It's Florida.
It's Florida. It's always hot here. We're going to have fun where we can.
Forever summer.
Forever summer. I think that's the best fucking way of thinking of it. But so I did send you guys some more questions. We already did That's Bullshit in part 1. So if you've missed that, go back. You're fucking behind. What are you doing over here? And we talked about where you would take people for the first time visiting Florida.
Yes.
Now, we talked a lot about how these places are great. It's worth every cent. I want to know about the bad because it can't be sunny all the time. Tell me about the restaurant or dinner experience or the meal that you were sorely disappointed about. That was hyped. You were excited. You're like, ooh, this is going to be so good. And you had to sit there and smile and see like, oh, what the fuck did I just spend this money on? Or the least.
Oh, I mean,
expectations.
Framing it in that way
Brian, go ahead.
was a little different than how I read the question initially.
Or at least not worth the hype.
Not worth the hype. Okay, I'll put it that way. Not worth the hype. I would definitely, at least personally, I have to say from personal experience,
No one can see this,
I
but
would
Sherry's
say that Sherry is.
Sherry's mad. She's not trying to shit on anyone. We're not asking you to shit on anyone.
I won't shit on anybody.
Brian, go ahead.
Personally.
Brian, go ahead.
So I will say, like, constitutively, like, I have enjoyed, I would definitely say a fair share of, like, A5 Wagyu. I'm not the hugest fan of Wagyu beef.
Why?
just it is very fatty, which for a lot of people is their preference. They're like, oh man, it's greatly marbled. Look at the marbling.
We're old. Our digestive tracts can't take it, man.
So like I'm thinking about like the meat. I'm thinking about the beef. I do like fat is flavor. I won't escape that. Fat is flavor, but at the same time, like there's only there's only so much that your stomach can handle, and so if you're thinking anything more than like maybe 2 finger lengths of like Wagyu beef, and you're like, oh god, I can't. My stomach is rejecting this.
Really?
Not immediately,
it's like
but you're
lactose,
thinking
but
like
with beef for him.
Really?
But it's like
It's like
2
you're shitting
hours.
yourself.
But it's not immediately so. It's like 2 hours later.
It's a lot of fat. It's like lube.
It is a lot of fat, and
There's a lot of things to unpack here for bonus features later.
and so for me, I'd much rather prefer USDA, prime.
Really?
For me personally.
I'm not mad at that. I'm actually
Yeah.
happy to hear someone tell the truth. Okay.
Yeah.
Because
I like
Personal preference. I definitely have to preface that. Personal preference. I don't enjoy
what
that.
I mean by the truth is that I feel like there's a lot of times that some things get too much hype and everyone just becomes hive mentality.
No.
Where it's like, oh yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's great. It's like, why is it great? And they can't speak to why it's great.
So I mean,
It's delicious.
It's the
the
same thing-
flavor is
like
great.
back to fat is flavor, but at the same time, have you ever had a butter basted steak?
Yeah. I'm an American, right? yeah.
So
The fact that
like
we haven't buttered these drinks in, but
so like a butter basted steak is
Arguably
amazing.
so you would say arguably better, at least your preference.
His
For
preference.
my preference, yes.
Here at Bourbon and Bullshit, we don't care if you want to tote the line. Just say that Wagyu's overrated. It's fine. I won't judge you. I'm gonna say it for you, Brian.
I guess back to my preface in part one. I will say that definitely shades of gray. I understand where people enjoy it because maybe they have had terribly prepared steaks and they're like, oh man, this one isn't over prepared. And it's like, yeah, because it's 56% fat or more, and so it's really hard to burn the proteins when it's protected by all that fat. And
been
so
there.
yeah.
It's-
Yeah.
Sorry, but I had a friend who told me that Wagyu steak is worth every penny, and I just couldn't wrap my head around it.
I would say enjoy it. Enjoy it once, and if that ends up being your thing,
There's a
Enjoy
specialty shop in Oviedo that's like a high end.
Oviedo.
I say Oviedo because the GPS has been saying it that way, and I've been fucking with my friends.
But that is Google.
Also, Altamonte.
Altamonte.
What bullshit are you listening to your GPS in actuality and
bullshit.
using that?
Every time they do it, I've just been fucking with people when I say the names after, and I was like, "This is great. This is how you're gonna pronounce this." Welcome to Oviedo.
What whitewashed-
Where am I?
What whitewashed shit are you going?
It's
Oviedo.
Google Maps.
I know. What is Google Maps?
Maybe that. So I will put maybe that is the preferred pronunciation for it, but at the same time, like no one here in Central Florida,
No one says
calls it
I know.
Appalachia.
Oviedo, Appalachia.
Oh my god!
Appalachia.
Every time I hear my GPS mispronounce or pronounce a name of a town in a funny way, I'm just like, "What the fuck?" Like it's a quiet moments that, like the little moments of like, "This is stupid."
Okeechobee.
Okay, yes.
Okeechobee.
Now, Sherry, have you thought of the most overrated meal and/or drink that you've had that you're like or disappointed? Because I know you don't want to shit on anyone, but the one that you're the most disappointed with, and why?
It's just mediocre. So nothing in particular, because everything has its place. Everything tastes delicious, but I hate it when I go somewhere and it's just okay. Just the most mediocre.
What was the most mediocre? You know you have it in your head.
They're gone now, so I don't even care.
That's
they're
it.
they're bankrupt.
Okay, I wonder why.
Yeah, because they're mediocre.
What was it?
Outpost.
Outpost. Oh, I remember that place.
It's over. Then it wasn't Maitland. They're gone now.
A lot of people were sad when that left. What was that? What was mediocre
It
about
was
it?
mediocre. Everything was just mediocre.
Just bland, no seasoning, nothing.
It was just
Tell,
okay.
tell me about what Outpost was.
Well, it was like Ale House. It was like it just tasted like Ale House.
A higher end. It was slated to be an higher. It was presented as a higher end ale house.
Yeah. I don't.
Look,
I will pay money for good food, but I don't want to pay good money for
bad
mediocre food. Not even bad food, just mediocre. I want it to be above average. If I can't even have above average food, that was a waste of calories.
that's fair.
It
I'm
was
not
a
mad at
waste of taste buds, alcohol, food,
Oh, I'm looking at
meat.
I'm looking at the food, and there a lot more of the reviews say terrible and poor than anything else.
Yeah, it was just. It's just.
It said no second chance. One of the reviews.
So
First time at this restaurant, as the distance doesn't make it a regular place to eat. Went for dinner, seated immediately, about a quarter way full. Scratch kitchen from limited menu. Overrated beef stroganoff.
Yeah, it was just. Okay, it was.
So I definitely drove by that place every day for at least half a year, and I never stopped.
It was just. Okay.
The prime rib was tough and inedible. The server took 25% off the prime rib. Went to pay the bill, which was still $100 in the POS and 22% tip.
Below average.
Below average. Bad.
They're gone.
Oh, this place
And
is bad.
if you go to their Facebook and you look it up, they're like, oh my God, I love them. Oh my God, I'm so sad they're gone. And then you're like, but they were just below average. They were mediocre at best.
Okay.
And I went, it's all right. The server was really nice. So I do not fault the servers, the bartenders. They were all very nice. They
staff
were
was
all staff sweet. Everything else just kind of average. I don't want to eat average food. If I'm gonna eat average food, I'll cook it.
If I'm
Not like I cook average, but I cook above average.
All right.
But if I'm gonna eat, I want it to be above average, because if I can cook above average, I don't want to pay for mediocre.
I appreciate every single bit of that. I'm not mad at it at all. You know what I'm mad about? They're chicken wings, Outpost wings, $15. Yeah. It just looks like ale house wings.
I'd rather just go to Papa B's. I like
I
Papa B's.
love Papa
Papa
Bees.
B's are great. I like them.
Longwood?
Oh,
Yeah.
they're great. They're great wings.
Bro.
Right next to
Shouts out-
Hourglass.
Cheap beer.
Cheap beer.
Cheap beer,
Hourglass.
good wings.
I wouldn't necessarily
Not cheap
cheap,
beer,
but,
but
you know,
Cheap-ish.
High quality, good beer, but at a reasonable, fair price.
Yes.
locally brewed.
Locally
Yes.
brewed.
Support local.
I could go to Hourglass 2 feet away.
Back to part one. It's still in the same strip club. Strip club.
Strip
Strip club. What the
Strip.
heck? Strip.
Hey guys,
Strip mall.
So
Strip mall.
This episode is brought to you by Mom's Wings, where you can get your wings, beer, and strippers.
No.
I'm not the one who brought it up. Why'd you say no to me?
Strip plaza. Strip mall.
Plaza, strip mall. So Papa B's is in Longwood for that. That's going to be one of those restaurants that if I want to bring a friend to, like, let's get you some good wings that you would not expect.
It's just
That's gonna be it.
wings. It's, wings are good.
You do one thing really fucking well, and you're
Oh,
going to
yeah.
be in business forever.
Yeah.
They do.
They do it over every. I have not had a bad wing.
It's an
there
American
ever.
wing. There are different wings, but that is a good example of an American wing. Are
That
there
is-
other examples? Yes.
Yes.
But that is good for what their genre is.
100%, and it's fair price.
Excel at what you do good.
Yeah, that's straight up. Hey, if anything I could tell you guys in business, do something well.
Don't be mediocre.
Don't be outpost, because you'll be bankrupt. Listen, guys, so we're not shitting on anyone, obviously. We're not fucking poking fun, but it's interesting because there is a certain dynamic to what you guys said. I am willing to pay for something enjoyable, good vacation, good fucking experience, good food, good fucking liquor. If it is
Absolutely.
worth it, I have no problem fitting the bill. Not one problem. What bothers me and frustrates me, and why I brought up the question, is that there are moments where things are hyped, either because everyone just says it's a hive mentality that I spoke to
Oh, yeah.
earlier. It was like, oh my god, what do you mean you don't like this? It's because you don't have a refined palate, or something asinine like that. Like,
Yeah.
that's not a fair statement. I just don't like what I don't like. We can have differences of opinion. Don't be rude. Like,
And it is fair.
yeah.
You don't have that experience potentially,
Yeah.
And
that
there's good
don't
examples of some things like truffle. I like truffle, but
Oh,
there are
yeah.
good examples
Yeah,
and bad
truffle.
examples of truffle dishes, just like there are good examples and bad examples
Truffle
of wagyu.
oil.
Truffle oil is just synthesized flavor of truffle,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like LaCroix, where it's just a waft of flavor over the water.
Yeah.
Although I will say my personal experience with truffle is, even if the damn little thing is shaved over your dish, it's just like
It's overrated. Why am I paying this upcharge? I'm not going to lie to you.
not for me.
Not for me. When I hear like truffle fries,
No.
just give me the regular
Well,
fries.
the truffle
No.
fries are just truffle oil, which is just
almost always
synthesized
truffle oil.
truffle
Yeah.
flavor.
Same thing when we talked about like fake wasabi.
Fake wasabi,
It's
horseradish with
almost
color.
always horseradish. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I've definitely had real wasabi. If you can find it, if you can eat it, try it because it definitely is different from.
It definitely has
Powdered
a
wasabi.
much more. I've heard of it referred to as much more. What was it? Chlorophyll-y. Chlorophyll.
Why does that sound disgusting?
Vegetable.
I know.
So,
what- I know.
Vegetable.
so chlorophyll.
I know.
Vegetal.
I know, but
So
when
you're
you say it
talking
that way,
like.
it makes it sound worse.
Okay.
I know what you mean.
It has a more depth of flavor. You're not just thinking like, oh god, horseradish, nasal. You're thinking like, okay, there's a lot more just nuance to it.
flavor.
I like that. That's much better.
Just
than
like your
colorful.
bourbon and whiskey, there is a nuanced flavor. And are you drinking?
Why'd you shake your head at me like you're? I'm on your side, Sherry.
I'm shaking my head at the people that don't believe it. It's like the people that are like, I love Jim Beam, and you're like, why?
Like I think there's I have a couple good friends like Grant. Shouts to him. A couple of the people that as they've been my friend for so long, they saw me enjoy something. Same thing with you guys when you're like, hey, you want to try this restaurant? I'm down because you're recommending it. I trust you. And you're like, hey, let's do this. And if it's in my price range, I'm gonna go do it. When I was looking for restaurants, I'm not fucking doing it $285 per person. But remember what?
Delicious.
It might be, but
It will be.
I also need studio equipment, Sherry. Shouts to the Patreon if you want me to go to this restaurant. But my point is,
It's like, I'll get you in.
yeah, maybe. Literally.
Not for free.
No.
But you gotta pay.
But so what I'm saying is like I've had friends that have gone through this, like they've seen me enjoy whiskey, bourbon, certain things. And even as recently as yesterday, we were at the Courtesy for a couple of my old peers before they didn't want to hang out because we always went to like the ale house, Gators, basic shit. But hey, everything has its place. Everything has its place. Having a good Blue Moon with friends and cheap wings and cheap fries, where you're just hanging out with coworkers from work.
It's true.
Everything has its place. There's a place for everything, and that shit's enjoyable. That's a very different, unique experience. So I told them, if you guys really want to do something farewell to me, meet me at the Courtesy for an old fashioned. And all of them were like, well, yeah, let's fucking go. Not one person batted an eye. Everyone was down, and we all had old fashions and really, really good cocktails. They tried the Deku treat, they tried all that, and they joked about, they're like, oh, at first they're like, wow, it takes forever to get these. I was like, yeah, but they're fucking worth it. A good friend Justin took a while to get a Manhattan. When he
takes time.
He didn't know what to order. I'm like, you're getting a Manhattan because I want you to try it.
Yeah.
He got it. He's like, this is fucking delicious, bro. And I'm like, yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying it because this is where my perspective is from drinks. I want to savor, enjoy, get the job done, but not also feel like I'm 188 pounds after drinking a fucking case of beer to get one buzz. But everything has its place. I can't go to the beach and just pull out like bourbon, make an old fashioned, but I can have a Corona. Significantly easier. Everything has its place. I know we're going to disagree on some things. I know you want to yell at me, but for right now, we have to all rehydrate and we're going to take a quick water break. Guys, we'll be back when Sherry yells at me. Hey guys, while you're listening to the show, we know that you might want to partake in some drinks with us and enjoy in the libations. Here at Bourbon and BullSh, we ask that you drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive, avoid Amazon one-click buy, and for the love of God, do not text your ex. You do not need that kind of closure. They've moved on, so should you, Joseph. You should stop Facebook stalking. She knows. She knows. Now, all jokes aside, don't do anything dumb, take care of yourselves, and be safe. Thanks, guys. Now back to the show. All right, guys, we are back. Sherry yelled at me and told me that I don't know anything. I'm joking. None of that happened.
No, I didn't.
None of that happened. But Brian, you kind of see where I'm coming from, where like everything has its place.
Yeah.
There's certain experiences you don't need to be the most elevated version of.
No.
Because then you can enjoy the elevated version. Like, how is everything elevated? If you elevate everything, nothing is elevated, right?
Correct. It's the same thing as hey, I'm studying for something. Mm-hmm. Let's just say I'm trying to, really get through an exam. I'm highlighting everything on every page. What does that mean to you?
Yeah.
It means nothing.
I just might as well have left it alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, meaning everything as a priority means nothing's a priority.
Yep.
So you need to make sure that you have some sort of baseline. Mm-hmm. Not saying that you need to lower your standards. I mean, everything does need to be, in this regards, cooked. So some things,
or not cooked.
Things have to be made in a specific way according to what they're actually supposed to be. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, if your only frame of reference is like, say, other Michelin star restaurants, it's kind of hard to have like a baseline of understanding of like, okay, what does this mean?
But I also like those things. Like,
Oh yeah,
like, there's a certain-
absolutely.
like,
You're supposed to like those things.
I love those things. Like,
They're delicious. If they're not, they wouldn't be Michelin.
I will.
Well, no,
I'm
they
saying-
don't necessarily have to be Michelin.
I'm saying the baseline shit. Like,
Okay.
if I go to real talk,
I wouldn't be going to Papa B's if I didn't like baseline shit
Damn it.
too.
But that's
Okay?
not, no, I'm not telling you. I'm telling people listening at home. Like, I don't want them thinking that we're like, hey guys, you guys are eating swill. Papa B's is fantastic. I will always go there, but I'm not going to go to McDonald's. Sorry, we might shit on you. a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
I go for
But-
coffee. I do eat Happy
You
Meals.
see, I was going to say, as I said that, I was like, there's a time and place. Shots to Taco Bell in certain places when you're drunk and you want
There-
a quick fix.
I
There
like
are
chicken
times.
nuggets.
Everything has a fucking
I
place.
like McDonald's fries
Food is good.
are
How
the
about-
OG. I don't know what you're talking about, but McDonald's
Back
fries
to
are
the phrase,
delicious.
there is
Yeah,
a time
McDonald's
and
fries are
place for everything.
Everything has a time and place, bro.
Yes.
Like, it just becomes one of those things.
Oh,
What?
disappointing.
Oh, you thought of a disappointing place?
Big Taco.
What the fuck is Big Taco?
It's the Tijuana Flats people.
They made a big taco place?
No, it's the owner, the people, because Tijuana Flats was sold. T Flats
Yeah.
was sold.
Yeah.
And it's like the OG people that, like the kids,
Oh.
opened up their own thing.
And it was disappointing?
It was disappointing me. It was just that. We went on opening week, so maybe I'll give them another chance because it was opening like day. It was like the second day.
Oh, don't do that.
I'll probably try again.
Yeah, try
I
again.
was just disappointed because it was probably the second day. And
Yeah, I was about to say, like, they have to get a lot of shit right before they do, like...
I know, and that's why I'll probably give them another chance, and then I'll be like either happy or sad. That's really it. That's the only other time I've been kind of disappointed.
Shots of Big Taco. We're going to give you a second chance. Let's go.
I'll give them a second chance because the first or second day is just
And also, tacos are amazing. So let's see. Let's give them the opportunity to get this right. English is hard. I'm sorry.
it's an American hard taco, so
Although-
it's not. It was an American, so it's not a soft taco.
Although Tex-Mex.
Tex-Mex is great though.
Although.
Look, it's not as fancy, but one of the places I think is overrated, and I will die on this hill, is Tin and Tacos.
I like Las Cretas.
Yes.
There's
It's
a
on
lot.
Goldenrod
Fuck.
and University.
Yeah, I know.
They're great.
They're right there.
I know they're right there.
Yeah, I love that place. We've tried it for work.
I used to love El Cerro before they got knocked down.
Bro, there's a lot of Hispanic food out there.
I'm sad.
And Azteca de Oro.
They're good too.
So, there's a side question, just
What's up?
from a fan. What do you think of all these new restaurants coming to Orlando, especially the Asian culture new flair? Like, this seems to be a heavy focus on that. There's a wave of heavy Hispanic and Latin flair restaurants. There was a wave of different demographics. There's tapas places. There's all these restaurants popping up left and right. Are you optimistic for these restaurants coming in that new wave, or are you thinking?
I'm down for
I
it.
definitely encourage it.
I'm down for it because, like, look at Seattle, look at New York, look at LA, look at how large their Chinatowns, look at how large their Asian demographic is, and what type of food scene they have. Orlando's coming up, in my opinion, because if you look at New York, you look at LA, you look at Seattle, you look at like all of these restaurants,
These places that
all
are
these-
known for like food.
known for
industry.
food.
Yeah. Or
They're-
even like pigeonhole places of like, hey, there's a Chinatown and you have really great China
or
food. Or you
Japantown
have
or K-Town or any
Yeah.
of these other Asian places because they bring flavors, and they usually bring it at a good price because
and fairly elevated for what it is.
always elevated because if you've not watched the documentary, it's Searching for General's House. It was on Netflix. It's gone now. You have to find it on Amazon. You gotta buy it for like a couple dollars. But basically, look at Chinese food and look how fresh that food is, and look how good that food is, but then how cheap it is, because they have to be cheap, and they've not been elevated
It's true.
to like a Michelin level, even though it could be farm fresh, fresh as fuck, came in, still kicking and screaming, but you're like, oh, it's cheap. It's cheap Chinese food. But it's fresh made, freshly butchered, but because of the negative connotation from, the 50s, 60s, and that type of situation, you don't think of it as...
Even on up. Just, yeah, you don't
you
think of it as
cheap. You
Yeah,
don't think of it as elevated.
Any sort of elevated dish.
So you're
But
excited.
it can be.
I'm happy for it. I want it to be there. I love Asian food. I'm also Asian. Let's be honest.
We just went on a 20-minute rant about tacos. So it's you love food in general.
I love food.
But
Absolutely.
in the first part of this episode, we talked about a lot of those like Asian-inspired cuisines, and obviously the sushi restaurants and all these things we've spoken about before off air. We also talked about JoJo.
Juju.
Sorry, JoJo's
Yeah.
Great Adventure.
So-
Juju.
Not
We're talking-
JoJo's Bizarre. Different thing.
Juju. It's the
it's
anime
not
food.
so
We just
bizarre.
keep fucking like my mind's not everywhere. We talked about a lot of these-
Juju, the not so bizarre adventure.
It was a great meal.
He likes anime though, dude.
do?
The owner.
Really?
The
Yeah.
owner loves anime.
Oh yes,
We gotta
absolutely.
Talk to him.
He loves JoJo, and he's dressed up as a Sailor Moon character at previous Halloweens.
I love
He
that.
has.
Before he was Juju, when he was Susuru,
Yes.
he is definitely put on a Sailor Moon outfit for Halloween.
That's awesome. But you're excited about it. We talked about this new ramen spot. We talked about all these other things. Moso Nori in Winter Park coming up.
I am just excited for new food to come up because I want different perspective. And I want new food because I want to try it. And if they fail, they fail. Which, sadly, if they fail, that's sad. But I want new things to show up because I want to try it.
Okay.
Because I feel like Orlando is a very sink or swim type of city.
Yeah.
If you succeed, you are opening up 3 other restaurants. Like, look at Light on the
Potentially.
Sugar.
Yes.
Light on the Sugar,
Is opening on Waterford Lakes.
Waterford Lakes. They have one in Honolulu. They have one in Winter Park. They have one in Jacksonville.
Yep.
So you're talking about a
Look at-
pastry place that is
Asian owned, Asian made.
again true to its name, light on the sugar. So it's not something that's super sweet.
Yep.
It's something that is very palatable for most people, and it's just good pastries that aren't just like sugar. It's not like American sugar. It's like, okay, this
Yeah.
is like a good level.
We actually had that conversation the other day about how, I can go to term, non-American desserts are not as heavy on like all these extra, extra
Yeah.
things. It's about the flavor. It's about the
Exactly.
really enjoying it, not just
The flavor of the ingredient.
not the death by chocolate where it's like 88
I don't
different
want
versions.
death by
I don't want
chocolate.
to die. I want to enjoy the dessert.
Yes.
Once again, there's a time and place for everything. If you're drunk and you want 2 or 3 bites of death by chocolate at Bananas, because that was a great restaurant.
Oh, bananas
man,
was
I
great.
love
Fucking miss
Bananas.
Bananas. Like if you want to eat something like that and be the fat kid.
That was my other disappointment.
Bananas?
Not bananas.
The monkey one?
No.
We'll go back there. Put a pin on that. But like, we're talking about that, like those desserts shops. I always worry that these restaurants that unfortunately don't always succeed in a very heavily Americanized areas.
Yes.
Because they might not provide what you were hoping from a dessert or expectation of a dessert.
There's a time and place for American desserts
Yes.
because they are good.
But to your point, Orlando,
It's very
sink or swim.
yes, it's very sink or swim. Restaurants either you live or die.
Yeah. So if people like you and I don't show up to Light and Sugar or know that Light and Sugar exists, how are they going to find success? Because everyone runs to the recognized names. I see people lining up for Gideon's Bakehouse, which is 14-pound cookies, which
Those
is
cookies
fantastic.
are
They
good.
slap, but that is
yeah.
immediately diabetes.
I'll talk to you off
disagree.
podcast about Gideon's,
Oh, all
but
right.
it's fine.
Shit, we're gonna have some fun later.
Oh,
But that's my point. Like, I want places like this succeeding. So you're excited to see those kind of new innovations, but do you feel that too much of it might be one and the same, or
okay.
It was a good variation on a old preference.
It's an old. Okay. We have a lot of Kate BBQ now and Hot Pot. We have
Yeah,
like
we do.
every other week. There's one opening it up, and it's sink or swim. If they survive, that means they're good, or they need it to be in that area. So that is
Yeah.
my idea about any food in Orlando: is if you survive and you're in a weird as fuck place, you're doing good. Like you are a good
So-
item because
First one that comes to mind is Taste of Chengdu.
I love them. They're great.
Oh yes,
They're Szechuan. They're Chinese. They have two
where's that?
spicy.
Spicy?
past Pine Hills, and then in Baldwin.
I want one.
So they opened one in the best.
That included a voice in the background. My fiance saying, "What the fuck?"
The
Yeah.
first location was in the Best Western restaurant. So they opened up there.
The
Best
restaurant.
Western?
Yes,
the hotel?
you know
The
the
motel.
Yep,
The
you know the
restaurant part
restaurant, the Best
of
Western.
the
Best
Best
Western where
Western.
Ludacris used to take girls to.
That was their
Kinda.
restaurant location. They did really well. They opened
was
up a
great.
second location in Baldwin. They're doing great.
Real quick, tell me if you know the name of it. When you brought up the Best Western, like, welcome to the show. Like, I've thought of the random places I've seen really good restaurants. There's a barbecue spot that shares a parking lot with a gas station off of a Loma or Hall, whatever street that is.
Died.
So the originator,
The OG owner died.
So yeah,
an
the
accident.
When?
chef,
Like
barbecue
COVID
guy.
time. At
Yeah.
least like a year and a half. Chuck.
Oh no!
He
Is that
actually-
restaurant still up?
It's still up.
He-
It's being run by his partner. It's still there. We actually met Chuck when he was also
Trying to do
running
a omakase.
a Japanese omakase in Stanford.
What the hell?
And then he pivoted to
Pivot.
getting messy,
Pivot.
which is also a barbecue place. He pivoted, and
He leaned into his
he
strengths.
leaned into barbecue. White guy, great, super nice.
The food was amazing. I heard.
Food was great.
Oh, yeah.
And then he died.
It was an unfortunate traffic
Shit,
accident.
rest in peace, man. I did not mean to bring up a
R.I.P.
sad topic.
Yeah, it was a traffic accident.
Yeah.
It was nothing that he could have controlled.
Nothing at his fault.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this makes me think about. Wow, that's sad. Just makes me think of unique places that you can find good food.
Gas stations, man.
Yeah, gas stations, food trucks, fucking the back of someone's house.
Food trucks, like Red Panda Noodles, are doing. I feel like they're doing really well. Black Magic Pizza also was a pop up.
They were
I
able to get a
think
brick and mortar.
They're currently running out of place and Whiskey Lou's right now over near
Yeah.
Mount District.
Yeah.
They're working on their
Ghost Kitchens has been a fantastic thing for people too, when people are operating outside of other
Yeah.
established kitchens instead of.
lower overhead.
Yeah.
I think that's a very Orlando thing.
So for
It's-
anyone who doesn't know what ghost kitchens are, do you mind sharing?
Ghost kitchens are just, they usually rent or they're working out of somebody else's kitchen. And they're running out of like Uber or there's
Yeah.
some sort of
So
Grubhub.
exactly. So for anyone who doesn't know, like there are multiple
We
times
have
when you
that
look at
one.
Uber Eats or Grubhub or DoorDash,
that one.
you might see a restaurant
That's-
that pops up, but it's shares an address with like Chili's. It's not the same food. There are people who they have their own brand, they have their own product, but they're operating out of someone else's kitchen, which will help a younger restaurant or younger brand survive in this super competitive world. In places like Chili's, who aren't necessarily doing the best all the time, they make a little bit of money on the side to help them out a little bit.
It's like Meng's, which is a Chinese chicken place.
Mm-hmm.
They were running out of a U-roll sushi off
Yep.
of
Yep, that's what-
Colonial and Goldenrod.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to.
And now they're in iFresh.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
They're good. He's really nice. They make a really good chai tea and they make really good chicken.
I actually, so isn't chai tea the same thing? No, I'm not doing that.
Or it's a Thai tea.
Oh, okay, there, Thai tea. There.
Thai tea.
So there's a couple interesting places. This is random. There's a place called Wave Asian Bistro.
Yeah.
So-
that's in Mount Dora.
So it's in Mount Dora, the popular Mount Dora sushi house known for its creative sushi presentations. I wonder if my significant other would be excited about this. Sushi presentations, burritos, donuts, burgers, the like, will anchor to soon to open Maitland Social, and it'll be open soon, where people are making full sushi rolls into pizza and sliced like that.
It's very gimmicky.
It's super gimmicky. I wanted to see what your guys' opinion was.
I'll give it a try. I haven't.
I would have to preference. Our preference is to definitely have something that's a little more.
Traditional.
Not even traditional, just more.
Trying to like PC this, but
Don't
like
PC it. We're on a my show.
so I'll just PC flavor forward. Something that
You rather
actually
focus on the food, not the gimmick.
yes.
There's no
Yeah,
wrong with that.
I'd rather the flavor be there than its actual presentation. If you're concerned about sushi and like what it actually is, please do enjoy it at
I don't need it to
someplace
be
that is going to be
displayed as
focused
a
on that
pizza.
place.
If I'm going to eat it, I'm just
Yes.
going to eat it. I don't need it to be bagel. I don't need to look like a bagel. I don't need it to look like a pizza.
I don't need it to look like a taco
burrito
or a burrito. Yeah,
I'll just eat it because it'll taste good, and I know that that's what they'll do to draw people in.
That's what I was gonna say.
Because you want somebody to come in because they saw it. It looks really cool on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
and they're gonna show up.
I mean, it's visually appealing.
It's visually appealing.
They know who they're marketing to.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I'll give it a try because if it tastes good and it just happens to look nice on Instagram, I'll eat it. Whatever.
Because there was a place over on Aloma and not Golden Rock.
Which one? What was it?
Aloma and Redbug that was doing something like that, and they still had good flavors, but like
was
the presentation was just
What was it?
I don't remember the place.
It's gone now. If we don't remember it.
Listen, if they don't remember it,
If we don't remember it, it's gone now.
it's not good. There's a place I do want to try that's coming up, and honest to God, it's for two stupid reasons. It's something called the Brooklyn Dumpling Shop.
Oh, it's the auto whatever
this
shows up.
This zero human interaction
because you don't like
style.
people.
Yeah, I don't like people. Auto style restaurant announces it's coming to Orlando, location back in fall 2021.
It's in BFE.
Yeah, it's not gonna be nice.
I want to try Kung Fu dumpling. They just opened. It's out near the attractions. Not to be mistaken for Kung Fu dumplings in Oviedo. Kung Fu dumplings in Oviedo is good. They're very good. They're dumplings. They're next to a Korean place called Kimchi, which is also very good, but it's also in kimchi.
Let me just write that down. But this place, Brooklyn Dumpling Shop, offers 32 varieties of dumplings, including traditional and not so traditional dumplings like vegan cheeseburger, peanut butter and jelly, and cheese pizza. Once again, trying some gimmicky shit might not be great, but to your point, I'm gonna give it a try. I don't know about peanut butter jelly dumplings.
You want to kill me?
Yeah, exactly. You're allergic to peanuts. Guys, we just in case we hang out with her, bring an EpiPen. But we're going to go take a very quick break from our sponsor, the Sugar Mama herself. Aurora Fable is going to just remind you she exists and pays the bills, and without her, we're not here. Be right back, guys.
Sponsor of Bourbon and Bullshit, Big Bang Boom Collective is Orlando's burlesque and cabaret entertainment group, comprised of Midnight Fables Cabaret, Big Bang Boom Cabaret, and Foxy's Den. Follow us on Instagram at Big Bang Boom Collective, or join our VIP email list for info on upcoming shows by visiting www.bigbangboomcollective.com.
All right, boys and girls, we are back. So a little bit different today. So I had something lined up for our bottle that we were going to pour up and enjoy with our friends. But Brian, being the very generous human being that he brought us a bottle of something called New Southern Revival Rye Whiskey. I have no idea what this is. So this young man is going to go ahead, take over the mic, and fill us in. Brian, go ahead.
Well, to the best of my ability. So this one is out of Highwire Distillery, out of Charleston, South Carolina. And so we actually did buy this bottle when we were on our honeymoon. Series of events, but a year after our actual wedding. And so with that, we were able to explore a lot of Charleston. We were able to explore a lot of the distilleries and breweries out of there. And so this was one that we had bought and never opened. So we decided to bring it here today.
Wait,
as
you've
a special.
never had this?
We have never had this.
Not.
This is something that
We
we are
had
opening.
it up there
This is something that we are opening for the first time here.
in at least 5 years.
This is going to sound special.
It's been a while.
It's been at least 4 or 5 years since
Jeez.
we've had this.
If he's going to pour it up as he's pouring, go ahead.
Where do you want to pour it?
The Siren's right. Mine don't care.
I
Well,
don't know where your cup
There's
is.
mine here. Rosanna's going to hand you one, I'm pretty sure.
So,
But
attempting
we're going
to
to
pour
this.
You want me to pour
across
it?
the
You'll
table.
Awkwardly.
He's awkwardly pouring. But so
let
I'm
me
looking at
pour.
Revival Rye, New Southern Revival Rye whiskey, 75% Abruzzi rye and 25% heirloom corn, bottled at 45 ABV. This gives a unique palate with a warm, that is warm with a spice I'm looking for without blowing the doors off, which is what we think is a good thing. So cheers, everyone. We're going to try this for the first time, including our studio audience, because shit, she keeps me going. Let's get this done.
It's 90 proof.
Oh, it's
It's nice though.
Pretty
Well, that's-
spicy.
that's
Pretty
a lot
nice.
of rye,
It's
and I
pretty
like
nice.
it.
It's good though. We really liked it when we tried it 5 years ago.
Brian, so what do you think? Opening it for the first time here. What do you think?
I really do enjoy it. I will say that I did get their sorghum whiskey when I was when we were up there as well, and we did let that age a little more than it should have. But this rye whiskey is really great. It is living up to the expectation of Highwire Distillery, and again, it's something local to Charleston. It's something that where they are trying to source locally grown grains in order to distill.
And sorghum.
And again, back to my previous comment, sorghum, where that's not something that is typically distilled into whiskey, but it is something that they decided to do, and they've made a great product. So if you're able to pick up something from Highwire, it is definitely something that they are trying to do locally but distribute nationally.
It's actually really fucking good, especially because I've never heard of this brand. And I think I was looking up the rye and why is it so different.
Yeah.
Just a nerd moment if you guys want to skip 10 seconds ahead. Arguably the most cold tolerant of small grains, cereal rye is a staple across the southeast. So yeah, locally sourced. All the shit's right there. This is interesting.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's really good. And like the fact that 90 proof should still feel hotter, it doesn't taste as hot.
No.
So Revival Rye Whiskey. So guys, if you haven't checked this out, hopefully you order some. Apparently I can add to cart right now.
There we go.
Just gonna right here. Rosanna, can I borrow your card real quick?
She's like, I got other shit to pay for.
Sherry, what do you think so far?
I still love it. It was really good from what I remember 5 years ago, and it's still good now.
Good.
And our bartender there was very nice. They did serve cocktails, and they also served things straight, and in a tasting menu type of situation. We did go to the tour because we have to.
I was about to say,
Absolutely.
Of course you have to do the tour.
If we don't do it, what's the point?
Were we really here?
If I'm going to the distillery, I'm going to do the tour.
Yeah, there's some tours that are pointless. Shout out to Angel's Envy. Listen, just go to the tasting bar. Don't fucking waste your time. But Old Forester had a fucking great tour. But
We'll get there eventually. Like we liked the what other tours that we liked. We liked Copper. Copper was good. It wasn't a tour. It was just a tasting because they're like, here it is.
Their tasting room had like huge open windows to the distillery.
He just pointed to the stills. They're like, there it is.
while you're drinking, right there, that's where we pour it first.
This is where we got it from Scotland. This is the distilling pod.
Yeah.
This is our fermentation tank.
And this is where I pour it from. That's it. That's all. Yeah.
And it was.
There's something to be said about that being enjoyable, though. Like just being able to watch it being made. This is really fucking good, guys. Thanks for sharing, man. I appreciate it.
I'm glad you enjoy it.
Anyone who wants to come on the show and bring me a bottle of alcohol, you're more than welcome to the show at any time. So, gonna ask some questions now that we're nice and
Toasty?
Yeah, toasty. You guys have obviously shared a lot about this foodie scene and everything that you're enjoying and things that I've never fucking heard of in my life, and like a corking fee, which I will take advantage of at some point in my life, I'm certain.
I hope you do.
Fucking let's go.
One day.
So, but all that to say, what originally got you into the foodie scene? I know that Brian probably got into the foodie scene because of you.
Definitely my wife.
Yeah. But Sherry, what got you into it, man? Like, what got you just your juices pumping for like, I need to try some new shit?
It boiled down to childhood. Probably for my dad. My dad has been working in restaurants since at least the 80s. So I grew up in the restaurant business. My dad owned a Chinese buffet. I ate at a Chinese buffet. He only sold it when I was in early college. And then he opened a supermarket. So we're fitting every stereotype except for dry cleaners as a family. So I've always been able to eat things that most people weren't able to eat, like fresh caught fish, things like ribeye, things like sushi, things like weird cuts of meat that you might not have as like.
What's a weird cut of meat? You can't gloss by
like
that.
I was able to do like foie at like elementary school with my dad, like foie gras, like duck liver and stuff like that. And I've definitely been able to have like turtle.
The fuck?
It's just fishy chicken.
I don't like any of that.
It's just fishy chicken
Or frog legs.
or frog legs.
frog legs.
I've been able to have that. I've been able to have like good cuts of meat, fresh fish at any given point in any of my life. We were broke as heck, but because of
Where you were in the industry your father was in.
he was able to buy it wholesale, or he was able to like bring it in, and he still cooks amazingly. So I went to college, and they were like, "Oh, what the hell am I eating in college? I have to cook for myself."
Oh, gosh. Always me.
And then I started cooking a little bit in college, and then I started eating like better quality sushi in college because I had friends that would pay for my sushi occasionally, and that was great.
It sounds a lot like because that baseline was right from the beginning at a higher level than most.
I had a very good palate. I would have fresh seafood, good produce. Like my parents gardened, and they would do swaps for gardens and greens and whatnot because I could count on my hand the amount of Asian people I would see in a day at school. So you group together, you do produce swaps because you can only do one thing of produce, and you trade with your neighbor because there are one of 5 other Asian people in the town, like 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Because they didn't exist. And I knew like one other Asian person in high school, maybe 2. So I count on one hand the amount of people I knew that
Magnet school.
And they weren't my ethnicity. They were just other sorts of Asians.
Yeah. But yeah, your baseline was not chicken nuggies. And
No, that was a special occasion, just like Pizza Hut when you did the Reading Rainbow type of stuff.
which is like the reverse, which is a reverse for a lot of people. A lot of people like to be, because I think we talked about it.
Pizza Hut promotion thing.
Yeah, like for even in Dominican households, like a lot of our food was like home cooked. People would go out to Hispanic restaurants. They go out, like that was my everyday. Where my treat was Burger King. Like, why the fuck is that my treat? Meanwhile, to everyone else, American food was just normal meatloaf and I don't know what the fuck American food. What do Americans eat? Listen, that's not like we're going out for Mexican. But I think that baseline is different, right? So you expect it a little bit higher, especially with fresh everything,
like fresh seafood.
Yeah, that's fucking wild.
And then I went, what am I eating in college? What is this deep fried?
So that pushed you to become a better also cook.
Well,
and I also want to
expectation.
But it also made you want to learn how to do it on your own, right? Eventually. Because, listen, don't front, because we've been to your household, okay? Don't play this.
I definitely remember watching Food Network way back in the day when Alton Brown had a full head of hair.
What?
Back when?
Back in the day.
Jesus, he had hair?
He had hair.
He did.
Full head of hair. Back when
Good
Anthony
eats.
Bourdain was on Cook's Tour. Back
Anthony.
when he was in No Reservations.
Fucking love that
back
show.
when it was like Parts Unknown.
I love that show.
It was all these things before Rachel Ray, before that.
Yeah.
So you learned all that.
I watched all of that because my dad didn't let me cook in his kitchen.
Oh, really?
He didn't,
Yeah.
because he cooked and my mother
It's
cooked.
Dad's kitchen.
It was my dad's kitchen. I didn't cook until college.
That's
I literally did not.
so
When we go back to the house,
I don't cook.
she is
at
not
my parents' house.
She is not allowed in.
At all.
oh my god.
I have not flipped an
She's
egg.
not allowed to.
You haven't
touch.
flipped an egg.
I have not flipped an egg at my parents' house. Maybe
She's
I've made
not
an
allowed.
No, I rescind that. I might have made an egg sandwich.
I love your dad. Because that's
I
fun.
love my dad. My dad.
No, I'm saying I love the fact that he's just like, while you're visiting, he's like, no, I got you, because this is my family, and this is what means a lot to him.
He's
Probably
Asian.
does.
He
Yes.
doesn't show you love unless it's for food.
Yeah, but that's
He's like, I don't say I love you.
There are no
I
words.
cook you
It's
a
actions.
ribeye.
I'll cook
Or
you
I
the-
make you
what would be
a
considered
whole
Michelin
roast.
star, five star meal for free,
Yeah.
and then be like, eat up, and just walk.
Because I distinctly remember eating foie in middle school because my dad was like, I got foie. And I'm like, what the hell is foie? As like a 13-year-old going, all right,
So-
eat it.
One of the first indications of when I knew that you don't fuck around in the kitchen was one of my Halloween parties. You showed up with a cake that was in the shape of a brain. So my significant other wasn't around during that time. Was you? Were you here with the brain cake? No, she might. Were you?
She's like, I don't remember. I don't think so.
I was there.
She was there.
Oh, she was poison ivy. Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
Surprise.
Hey, look, Halloween's blend together when you drink a lot.
That's when you were drunk.
Yeah, we were drunk all the time.
We were really drunk.
But you also got into baking and like sweets. What made you get into that world?
Because it was too sweet. It was was too sweet.
What do you mean? Like the stuff you went to stores? With?
Yeah, it was. Everything had
absolutely.
too much. I scrape off frosting. I'm that person.
Light on sugar.
I
Light
scrape
on
off
the
everything
sugar.
except
Yeah,
for like
absolutely.
a couple
Yes.
millimeters of frosting because there's too much sugar. There's too much butter. I'm lactose intolerant. It F's me up.
How's your lactose intolerant people? We understand.
It's like it screws me up, and I go, oh, this is too much. I'm just gonna if I eat this, I'm effed.
So you made instead of like, hey, I'm gonna adapt and move around. It was like, I'm gonna just make it. Fuck it. Fuck you guys. I'm just gonna figure this out on my own. What was your favorite thing you baked? Or was the have you ever had a bake fail like early on? And you'd be like, I fucked this cake up.
The only time I've failed is if I've flipped it over by accident. I had a pie flip over and it fell into the oven.
Oh,
That was in my parents' kitchen.
oh!
That was in my dad's kitchen.
How did he feel about that?
He was like, oh, I guess you gotta clean it up. I'm like, I'm so sad. I put so much effort into this handmade from scratch freaking pie.
What kind of pie was it?
Pumpkin.
Oh,
And then it turned into a squoosh. Oh. That was really sad.
what was your favorite thing you baked?
There's been a lot of good things.
Brian,
lemon.
Brian, what was your favorite thing she made?
I mean,
I've made a brioche lemon pull apart bread.
that has been delicious.
I make it every couple of years because it takes so much effort.
Because pull apart bread is
A
not
lot of
joke.
effort.
I love a lot of effort. It's a milk bread.
No
it's
joke,
like
lots of effort.
lots of effort. It's just so much effort. I've also made a milk bread cinnamon roll, which is also a
Also,
lot of
For
effort.
those who don't know, during the Full Frontal Nerd Days Bake Off for Halloween, you were a winner at least one year, weren't you?
Yeah, I was the
second
winner.
place.
Yeah, no,
No, I won.
she won one of the years.
I thought it was.
We're gonna have to look at the
It,
results.
it was the hand pie.
It was the hand pies,
Hand pies
and
were
it was
great.
between me and Norby.
Yeah, and Mikey was in that one too. Sorry,
I don't even remember. It's been a long time
but
It was the hand pies.
with shards of glass.
yeah, that shows. What was it? The sugar.
It was sugar glass
Yeah,
with the
it
blood
was.
splatters.
So you've been a baker avidly as well. Which one do you enjoy doing more, baking or cooking?
Oh,
Real talk, right? No judgments.
I enjoy baking more, but we're in Florida and it's really hot.
All like everything the same, all things equal. You have the best kitchen in the world, cooking or baking.
Baking.
Goddamn right.
I like baking more. It tastes. I like sugar.
And you can get a little bit more creative, I think.
It's baking is a science.
Yeah, but I'm saying when presentation.
Presentation is it looks very nice. Cooking, I love cooking. I do like cooking food, and I like people eating food, and I like sharing food. And I do enjoy meal prepping sometimes. Sometimes.
Shouts to tomorrow morning. So I think it's funny when you brought up baking as a science, because we've talked about this. Like you cook with like the spirit of your ancestors telling you when it's just enough.
Sprinkle the salt. Sprinkle the salt.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's
It's
fine.
like it's done.
It's
More
done.
garlic.
Meanwhile, you try to do that with baking at all, you're fucked.
explodes.
You will be fucked. It's like, why do I have a soggy bottom? And Paul Hollywood's staring at me. But it's
Disappointed.
so disappointed. You just no handshake for you. So overall, you feel like baking still brings you a lot more pleasure at the end of it all.
I enjoy the byproduct more.
Okay.
I enjoy what I get from it because I enjoy eating sweets. So sweets and savories, I enjoy sweets more, but I'm old. So savory cooking has every day it's better. But like Christmas cookies, like I do Christmas cookies every year. And it brings me a different type of joy than making a roast chicken. Though I do really love making a roast chicken.
oh
Is it,
yeah.
Is it
like
the
a
aesthetically
capon?
pleasing thing too?
It's aesthetics.
Sorry,
and-
Brian. I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry.
No,
Brian.
I think it's an aesthetics and a sharing. Because normally when I'm making a whole chicken, it's between me and a few other people. So I'm not just making it for myself. Otherwise, I'd make a quail.
Trust me, John loves it.
I know. He lives 2 minutes. Okay,
John constantly tells me, I'm going to Sherry's house. It could
like generously, 10 minutes.
Like generously 10 minutes with every light caught.
Oh no, I just like giving him shit every time. He's like, I'm going to go to Sherry's house. Like, do you not cook at home? Do you just
He's like,
wait?
not can I help it, not if I can help
He's
it.
like, if she's throwing down, bro, I'm going. I was like, I get it. If I was close enough,
If you were close enough, I'd invite you, but you wouldn't show up. You're like
30 minutes, 35 minutes
away.
Yeah.
No, I honestly enjoy cooking food and sharing food with people. I enjoy making charcuterie boards. I enjoy making food and sharing with people because I enjoy hosting.
Yeah.
And that's also a thing that my dad instilled in me because he enjoyed throwing parties back when more people were alive because my dad was born in 48. So, you know, it's just one of those. He loved... When people show up
when the
and
uncles were alive.
When way more uncles were alive.
Now I gotta ask
Well, just, you know.
Together. When people were
Yeah.
together.
Yes.
I gotta ask you then. So you experience obviously your dad's cooking. You grew up in a heavily obviously an Asian household, and you even said that you were kind of the obviously minority in that or like in that area. As an Asian person, when you are cooking and hosting for other people, does that make you? Do you ever feel like you have to change your style of cooking, or you're like, hey, motherfucker, this is my house? Like, do you ever kind of adjust for the audience?
Only for dietary constraints.
Okay, cool.
But otherwise, I'm like, if you don't want to eat it, then don't come.
Yeah. But do you ever find that also like your palate is because it's so different? Obviously, growing up in different foods, do you ever find like moments where you and your friends that are not Asian or Hispanic are like you don't agree on like a meal? You're like, I love this, and they're like, this is too spicy.
So I would
Chinese food
jumping
usually
in.
isn't as spicy as people would think.
But I'm just saying in general,
only for Szechuan.
Yeah.
That's spicy.
But I'm saying differences of like you love something where someone else is like,
Nope, I love something, and if they don't eat it, they can get out. That's it.
all right, you
And they're
heard it.
eating for free.
You heard it here. No, I fucking love that.
They're eating.
I
I tell people what I'm making usually if I think they're gonna have a dietary constraint. You can show up or you're not gonna show up. That's it.
yeah, and for anyone who doesn't know this, she straight up hands me Lactaid. Anytime we're about to eat somewhere together, he's like, "Gee, before you fucking fuck your stomach up, I got you, homie." I've never bought Lactaid on my. She's made sure I don't fucking crap myself.
Yeah, because I'd like to spend time with you while you're not in the freaking toilet.
Yeah, and I fucking appreciate every moment of that.
Here's your roll.
Yeah.
Here
Like
you
a
go.
bandolier instead of like.
Here's 2 before you fucking disappear. Oh, thank God.
Yes.
But it's fair, and which I find like so to your earlier point, which I find is great when you said you like to share meals, you like to share that experience with friends. I think that's part of the reason why I enjoy hosting. Like, remember back in the day, we used to have big parties, we have dinner parties here, we have get-togethers, we have all those gatherings. It is about that sharing. Like even this show in general, it's about sharing a good bottle, sharing a good experience, having fun, telling stories while we fucking get
Bullshit.
lit. Yeah, bullshit and get lit. Especially when we drink like 4 sips of something. It's like, this is good. Let's keep going. And we're 4 hours later, and we're just halfway. We're done with the revival,
No, we're
guys.
not done. We've got an
Almost.
inch.
We got an inch of revival left. Jesus, that's how.
It's a flask. It isn't the full 750.
Yeah, I know, but it's there's a listener formerly known as Gaddis just made a dirty joke about there's an inch left, and I know he did. I know he fucking did, jackass.
You shut your mouth.
You shut your mouth.
If there's only an inch left, that's sad.
Oh, God damn it. He has problems. But I think that it's cool to see that, like, you learned it from your family. You expanded it. You eventually learned on your own.
Asian people don't tell you they love you. They feed you. If they don't feed you, that means get the fuck out of their house.
It's not only Asians. Hispanics do that.
They don't like you.
My mom will curse me out and call me a
they-
fat kid. And
and
be
then
like,
they'll feed
feed
you.
me a fuck ton of food. And it's like, did you eat? Send me home with a bunch of plates. Fucking all this.
We go home with the cooler.
First
for my
question.
parents. Did
First
you eat-
question.
White boy. My
Yeah.
husband.
What's your first question?
So it's like the first question that usually shows up with Sherry's parents are
Are
like,
you hungry?
"Are you hungry?"
Did you eat? Do you want dinner?
Yeah.
Do you want lunch? Do you
Yeah.
want breakfast?
Yeah. That's how you know you made it into the household. When they start making sure you ate. If you're the friend in the corner that they still don't ask if you want a plate, they might not like you.
Well, for me, I still only primarily speak English. So even though Sherry's Cantonese, I don't always understand her parents. And
My parents still have a thick ass accent.
But they immediately make sure you ate.
yes,
Yeah, of course.
They're like, did you eat? Did you eat? Yes or no? 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 I made food.
I fucking love that.
I made food.
I love
It's
that.
still like understandable, but it's like
They have a very thick accent. I love my parents, but they have the thickest Asian accent. They've been here since at least the 70s, 80s,
Still love it.
and they're fantastic. They will never tell you they love you,
Yeah. Never. They do in every meal.
but they will feed you, and they will send us home with a cooler full of food.
at the same time they did, you know,
And
bless
then
our
they'll call you
wedding and
fat.
everything. But it's, I mean, there's that.
My mom does that shit too. It'll be a Thanksgiving of like 88 platters of shit. Why did you make? There's 4 of us.
No,
She's like, you need food for the week.
you need to eat it.
fuck is
Here, it's in Ziploc bags and Tupperwares. But damn, you gained 20 pounds, or man, you real fat today. You're like, oh,
I don't know.
why?
It must be the other 86 servings you served me.
It must be all the food you just gave me.
Happens all the fucking time. There are moments I'm like, no, I'm good, I'm full. And she's like, oh, why is he not eating? And she'll stop taking my word for the fact that I'm full and look at my fiance and be like, is he okay? Is he sick? No, he just
You
ate.
guys just gave me 2 bowls of rice and a side of meat and 4 sides of everything else.
Bro, it starts turning
Why are
into
you
like,
trying to kill me?
it's turning into like, has he been feeling sick? Did you tell me he's fat? Is he feeling fat? What's going on? Why is he
No,
not
you
eating?
told me I was fat.
Lady,
Jesus.
I ate 14 chicken breasts because you just keep feeding me. Like, relax. I could stop.
It's only 3 o'clock. It's
Fucking
fine.
3:32 p.m. How are you in my house? Like, you get in here feeding me. That's
I love my parents.
I love my mom. I love my mom. She's a pain in the ass, but I love my mom.
I have 4 gallon bags of dumplings in my fridge because of
You
my
see,
parents.
can I have? Wait,
They're pork. It's pork.
I could fuck with pork. I shouldn't fuck with pork. I've been advised by my beautiful fiance that my stomach will probably be destroyed.
It's
with
pork and shrimp.
Oh, I would die.
I know. You would die. I'm
would
sorry.
die.
It's delicious.
It is delicious.
I've definitely made those dumplings that my mother makes. She sends it with my sister.
If somehow you can convince her to make them out of chicken.
Oh, that's not gonna
No,
happen.
no, that's not
Guys,
going to
well, I'm
happen.
not gonna get chicken
No,
dumplings.
it's not
Nope.
gonna happen.
Nope, not until Sherry.
Maybe my dad. He might.
not
make
until
something
Sherry
chicken.
finds the recipe.
There is a recipe. It's a video and then an estimated amount of what goes into it. Just like the ribs that my dad makes. And my sister asks me every time.
Which is always a guess.
It's a guess.
Those are
it's a-
wonderful ribs,
It's a
though.
video.
This is exactly what I expected of cooking.
It's no. My sister took a video for me because my sister's like, he's gonna die soon. I'm like, he's not gonna die soon. He's at least 10 years. He's like, no, he's gonna die soon. So she took a video of him.
That's morbid.
Well, he's in his 70s. He's got like cataracts and no teeth and
He's still thrown down in a
a
kitchen.
lung issue, and he smokes cigarettes since he was like 12, and he drinks beer every day.
No.
He's preserved, man.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like he lived a really good life.
No, he's still going.
Yeah.
He's still going.
He has lived a delicious life.
He has lived a very adventurous life with lots of very good food. But I love my dad, but he is feelings. This is how you cook with your feelings of your ancestors.
I fucking love him.
He's like, you just pour it into the pot, and that's how much it is. It's like it's 1-to-1. It's like 1-to-1 of what?
I enjoyed all of that. That whole, like, just the vibes. Just like, it's not, yeah, I need a little bit more garlic. Did you try it? I just know. This needs a little bit more.
And that's why my sister took a video of him cooking. She's like, I took a video of him cooking. And I'm like, that's not a measurement.
None of that's a measurement.
It's not a measurement. She's like, good luck.
It's close. As close as you can get.
It's as close as I'm gonna get, and you just have to experiment until I remember what it tastes like, and I hope and pray that's what it is. I have a pint container of the rib sauce that my dad makes for me every time I go and visit in my refrigerator right now.
Shit.
It's been pretty solid.
It's delicious. I asked for ribs, and for my mother, I asked for a steam pork and pickled vegetable meatloaf.
That sounds delicious.
It sounds very different from American meatloaf.
Yeah, no. I don't trust American meatloaf.
That's because it's
That's like my family
breadcrumbs.
meatloaf.
That's your family
it's
meatloaf?
white. He white.
No, I was.
Oh,
talking-
yeah, I,
shouts to when we had an episode with Estrada. A couple of shows where we were talking about like Thanksgiving meals and like
Yeah.
meatloaf. It's like, what the fuck is meatloaf? He's like, literally,
yeah.
what it sounds like. It's just like breadcrumbs,
Meat and loaf.
It's a
Make it
meat.
into a loaf.
It's a meat nugget.
Yeah, it's a giant meat nugget that you cut like sliced bread.
It's
Oh, yeah.
sliced bread. It's
Yes.
just
You
like
put
a
ketchup on it
It's a
and shit.
Served
giant
with ketchup.
meatloaf.
Oh my god.
It's a loaf of meat.
I mean, no stop.
The
Just
the
it
biggest
is meat and
meatball
loaf.
you've ever seen.
You put it in a bread loaf pan.
Yep,
You
bread
do.
loaf pan.
Yes, that is how you
I had
cook
to do
it.
research
I've made it.
because I never knew what the fuck meatloaf was because I'm Hispanic.
Although my family enjoyed it as a microwave preparation.
Nope, not doing that. Why are you microwaving meat like
Because-
that? Like to cook it.
I love him.
Don't
Brian.
ask me
my
why.
God.
I didn't do it.
Midwestern. His
didn't do
family
it.
is very Midwestern, and so the food that comes out of their kitchen is very Midwestern.
I didn't do it.
I know. I'm not mad. I feel bad for you. It's much more about like. I'm sorry,
it's
man.
family history.
His food adventure happened when we started dating. All right.
Look, originally you loved her, and then you found out that you could eat better food. You're like, this is it. I gotta lock it up. I'm done. I gotta put a ring on it immediately.
Was there a question?
No, not once. Bro, Rosanna walked into this house and she's like, it was like some chicken meal with bacon and some other shit. I was like, I'm just gonna make a copy of my key. Like when we first started dating, just gonna. Are you trying to move in? What's happening? Like,
I don't think that happened with us because I lived with like 3 other dudes back when we first met. It was interesting.
That's weird.
It was dirty.
The house was dirty.
Yeah.
Did they expect you to like always cook meals for them?
No.
They're good.
No. Two of my roommates didn't like bone in anything.
The fuck?
So 2 of my
You were
roommates
living with children?
Practically.
pallets. So they didn't like bone in chicken. So I'd have to. One of them would eat it if I cut the bone out.
Are you their mother?
Yeah, if I cut the bone out of the chicken for him, he'd eat it. But he wouldn't put his teeth on it. It was, and they'd subsidize on Hunger Man, the ketos,
Oh my god.
and Kellogg's Frosted Flakes with extra sugar. 2 different roommates.
Extra sugar.
One roommate would eat whatever I made.
Shouts to one of the funniest things one of my best friends told me that he, while he was truck driving, would eat like pizza rolls with marinara sauce. And he's like, yeah, that was like my go-to.
That
And
was
I'm
the
like,
fancies.
I feel like you're not going to live long if you keep doing that. He's like, nah, man, it's fucking awful. It's not good for me,
it's
but
bad
it's
for
easy.
you.
But as a truck driver, it's
Yeah,
easy.
it's
You have
quick.
a fucking little oven
Yeah.
thing in your truck and shit. Like,
Plug it
Oh,
into
yeah.
your like cigarette
Yeah.
lighter, and you
yeah,
go.
it's easy. Fucking got the shit done and got the job done. You can keep driving, keep going.
Yes.
Fucking, god damn, that's we went on
Yeah.
a wild ride there. Microwaving meatloaf, Brian.
Long haul trucking is no joke.
Yeah, but microwaving meatloaf.
Yeah.
My family did it.
All right.
Boiled the living
I
daylights out of
I can't
it
say it was
for
the
vegetables.
best of ideas, but it was.
It is definitely not the best of ideas.
It existed.
So, we got a couple more questions before we start wrapping up. One is probably going to be tough to answer, and I talked about this earlier. Oh, yeah, we're going to quickly go through this one. I don't think it's going to be too tough. We talked about the best high-end restaurant that you would go to if your friends were in town. I want a quick flash go rundown of mid-tier, important cost restaurant, and lowest tier. Like, not the lowest, like bottom of the barrel, like fucking the Wawas.
No.
Like something like entry level.
Like mid tier.
Mid tier first.
For your not omakase, Juju. I love Juju. I love Susaru. Japanese izakaya pub style
Absolutely delicious.
restaurant. Meat on a stick, appetizers, good like bar program, great food. You went.
Yeah, Juju is fantastic.
It was delicious.
And the thing about Juju is you think like, oh, I'm gonna order just one thing. You end up ordering like 7 things and enjoying it, and the whole table sharing. So Juju's restaurant in Orlando, Florida, 700 McGuire Boulevard. They're not a sponsor, but tell them that Bourbon and Bullshit sent you just in case.
Hi, Lois.
Hi, Lois. You don't know me yet, but you will. Brian, what's your mid-tier?
I would still have to say the same because they are absolutely delicious. We go there.
It's a close second.
Is Kaya considered mid or is it considered high? Like what do you consider
hard.
mid? What's the price
all right,
bracket for mid?
So mid would be, if dinner for 2 would be anywhere from $60 to $90.
Oh, that's even Kaya and Osprey are mid.
Yeah.
I don't know. even still, Kaya and Osprey can sometimes exceed
Yeah,
that,
Osprey
but even
goes higher
still,
end a little bit. They're
Yeah.
they're in the entry of the higher end.
You could
Yeah.
do Kaya on their porch menu. They're great. If you haven't gone, they're fantastic. They're
What kind of restaurant is it?
they're Filipino. They're higher end Filipino. They are an offshoot. The chef owner with Jamie and Lo worked with Cadence,
Oh,
and
yes.
they offshooted to Kaya, and they're delicious. If you want to try some Filipino food,
they are delicious.
they're fantastic. They're very nice. Right behind them, they do night markets,
okay.
like Filipino night markets.
That's actually super cool as well.
And they do that every couple of months. And they're,
I want to say every month.
I think every month. I don't catch them every month because,
So, just so you know, part of the reason why I'm asking those like tiers of pricing, if you ever go on Google, obviously you look up restaurants.
yeah,
that have, like, a
how many
amount of
dollar signs?
Yes, I was seeing if those lined up. Kaya is a $2 sign, so
Yeah.
it's mid.
Because they also have a chef's menu too, and then they have
do.
a regular a la
Yeah.
carte menu. So that's why I was asking, like, are you meaning this or this? Because there's a la carte and
Yeah.
there is
Something you
Yeah.
can take your people with.
yeah.
So, entry level, lower tiered, where would you take someone come in? Because I was going to pick up a la carte because I think you can get a bunch of places in there.
Okay. Low tier, like $1 sign. I like over rice. It's Hawaiian Filipino.
I like that.
I also do enjoy dim sum in Orlando.
Okay.
So
Over rice is going to be a Filipino Hawaiian food, a big, bold truck with all comforts of home.
they have a brick and mortar now on Lee.
Yeah, really? Mm-hmm.
They just opened a few months ago.
Okay.
They're tasty.
Rosanna, get in the car.
Yeah, we're hopefully, if we could find Kura, if it's not 52 back, they would be a great low price. Same with Dosho, the place we went to.
But
Halal.
wait, you're taking all of his picks.
I know. Okay.
Brian,
So,
this is why he can't come up with picks. You're rattling them off
in
like
the same place.
It's like rattling them off like a Rolodex.
It's like I'm letting you talk.
Brian, what about you?
All right.
Food, man.
So I would definitely say that mid tier would definitely be Tsutsuru Juju's, and from there, again, great izakaya, wonderful food. I would go there on almost every night that I can. For low tier, I would definitely say Rickup over there in Winter Park.
Reccup?
Rickup.
Spell that.
RICCUP. It is
Korean restaurant
it is
in Fairbanks.
admittedly a terrible restaurant.
to
Or
go.
a terrible location,
Location.
I should say.
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm
Terrible
I've worked in Winter Park,
location.
I've never seen this place.
Yeah,
It
because
is
they
a-
used to be
It is right next to
fresh.
a
Meng's Bistro, though.
so it's right next to a UPS store and right next to a CrossFit location.
A 7-Eleven.
There-
I know
there-
exactly what
there
you're
are
talking about.
exactly like 5 places
I know
to park.
exactly what you're talking about. It's right where that CrossFit gym was.
Yes.
And that Bees
It's
Cupcakes.
still there.
and
Yes.
Cupcakes place was.
Yes.
It was a...
So it is a wonderful place. It used to be over in
iFresh.
iFresh, and it is just a wonderful place. And they do really great rice bowls and a really great price. And I would definitely say,
car.
I mean, I don't even think
Kitchen.
they're open right now.
They're not open.
But they are really wonderful rice bowls, and it is definitely South Korean inspired, and just they are it's great.
It's a Korean rice bowl
yeah.
type of... It's great. Meng's Kitchen would be... Go to Meng's Kitchen, too.
Hey.
I've got so
Hey.
many.
We can share notes on later on. You can send me a list of your top 5 places you recommend. I'll put them in the show notes.
I've got so many.
But we want to keep people wanting more. But no, it's good to know that you have like some places that you might not necessarily always align on, but it seems like you guys
Yeah.
obviously eat in the same place, but might not
Oh, yeah.
pick. I was looking to see if there's going to be a difference in hierarchy, right?
So,
Maybe
like-
something you rank a little bit higher.
Definitely, if you go to Rickup, you probably have to park at the Winter Park City Town Center in order to like
City Hall.
walk there, because there is literally no parking. Literally
I've been in that parking lot.
five parking spaces. There's no place to park.
I've been to CrossFit Winter Park there.
There's nowhere to park.
there, and I was like, I have no idea where to park. And they're like, oh no, we don't park here. We park. Fuck.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
You have to park somewhere else and walk there.
Good to fucking know. Oh shit, that sounds like a lot of good fucking food. My fiance is telling me that I have to stop because we have plans. Like,
She's like, what plans?
yeah, we have plans.
Sleep?
So we are going to close out with one of the questions that I thought really would hit home, because I think for those who do not know, Sherry loves anime. Obviously, if you did not tune into part 1 and everything that she mentioned about anime and everything that she's been watching, or if you've never seen any of her tattoos on socials where it's heavily anime inspired. Now, one thing we all know is that anime does a really good job of making food look substantially better than anyone has ever made it in real life. If you could bring one meal or one dish or one fucking food from any anime into real life to try, what would you do?
It is from Campfire Cooking. It's not in the anime yet, but it is to eat a kraken.
I like that.
So I have eaten a lot of the foods that are in Japanese anime, and because they're foods that you can eat from Japan.
Yeah, like
so
ramen.
Ramen, and you can get like karage, and you can get lots of other things.
Soba noodles.
But I want to be able to eat a kraken or a dragon or any of these other things that don't exist in our world. I want to try it.
Sherry, you missed. This is great. I'm glad you brought that up, because we talked about what was the one mythological or like make believe creature you would want to eat, and only one person brought up kraken.
Yeah, it's a kraken. No.
A kraken makes a lot of sense.
In Campfire Cooking, in the manga, not in the anime. Anime hasn't caught up
How
yet.
they made it?
They charcoal grilled it off of like after they killed it and they dragged it from the sea. They did it on an open fire, and they did soy and whatnot. It was delicious.
It looked delicious.
I want to try it.
Oh, that's actually the best answer you could have come up with.
Same with dragon. I want to try dragon.
Yeah, kraken or dragon? Which one?
What is it? Seafood? Or is it
Kraken or dragon?
red meat or seafood?
Pick one.
Land or sea.
Kraken. I'll try dragon. I'll do kraken.
Appreciate that.
Kraken.
All right, Brian. Same question about anime food and apparently also mythological animals. First, the anime food.
I can't eat kraken in real life.
I'm not mad at you for the answer.
I do not have
happy for you.
as much time to read manga, so I don't have as much of a library to pull from.
Then, do you want to just do the mythological animal?
Oh, I'd love to try
There's
dragon.
Food Wars.
Dragon?
I'd love to try dragon.
How would you serve it? This is important.
I don't know. So my preference right now would probably be to try a dragon tartare.
Ooh. That's motherfuckers fancy. That's it. Dragon tartare? I like that.
I'd like to try that.
I would not expect that. All right. Well, we had a. This was not where I thought we were going to go. I was going to say, like, I really want to try like the ramen off of some of these places because they look top tier, the best ramen you could ever have.
Yeah.
I have had some really
I've
great
had
ramen.
amazing food, but I want to try something that I haven't had in real life.
I'm not mad at that.
Like if I could.
And so you're talking
I've
about
seen Food Wars.
the recipe itself. You're talking about the ingredient themselves.
Because they've made it on like YouTube, like
Someone's copied
videos, like Alvin from Babish, where they've done Food Wars videos, where like Food Wars has the recipes out. Like they put out the recipes, they put out the things with how you can make the recipes, how you can like implement it and do it and make it. It might take you all night, all day, 2 days to do it, but you can do it.
Potentially, yeah.
And these are things based in real life, based on real cooking methods and real cooking instructions. And you can make it. You can do it. You can go to Japan and eat these foods. You can go to like Michelin restaurants and eat these foods. But I can't have a kraken or a freaking dragon.
You're 100%.
I can't have it.
I will. That is going to be one of the best sound bites. I can't eat a dragon or a kraken. I love that.
Where am I going to get this?
But you're 100% right. There was just a random thing I thought when you brought up, like, I could spend a fuck ton of money, ton of time, all this to try to replicate this and probably do it poorly. Or I could go somewhere and try to, hey, this restaurant makes it exactly how I want it. I'll pay the money.
Get it. That's a lot of work.
Someone wrote online, it's like, oh, I could save money. I could quote unquote save money instead of eating pad thai, but I can spend twice as much to get other ingredients to make worse pad thai.
Yeah, you can do that craft.
That is,
or spend $150 to make that craft item, or just buy it.
Mm-hmm.
So back to the previous comment. I think that was actually in part 1 where I was like, "Hey, can I spend the ingredients and like do a worse version of it?" Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a significantly worse version.
Yeah.
I'm never going to make anything Juju makes.
No.
Actually, I will give shouts not because you're sitting right here. Rosetta threw down when she made ramen at home one time. It was fucking top. I was like, "Who the fuck taught you how to make this?" I was about to check her. I was about to check her DMs. Who's in your inbox? Like, who the fuck you talking to? Like, God damn it! But guys and girls, we did talk about one last thing about mythological animals that we want to eat. The jury's still out. If we think that if you cut into a unicorn, will it be cake and sweet or meaty and savory?
It's still a horse.
I would still say horse. I'd still say
You've
horse.
seen Harry Potter. It
No,
still bleeds.
I barely seen Harry Potter.
It still bleeds. It's
I
still a horse. It's just a horse with a
but
horn.
will it be sweet?
No.
Or will
It's
it be
still
sweet?
meat.
It's still meat.
Hey, I'm just telling you that we've had the discussion with multiple friends where, like, there's a chance that if we cut into a unicorn,
No, it will not
So
be cake.
yeah,
it's not going to be that Netflix show. Is it cake?
No.
Come back
It's
here.
not. It's not cake. It's
No.
still muscle.
And then someone
Cake
also brought
doesn't
up
run.
eating Pegasus because you could eat the wings like chicken wings.
Everything tastes like chicken,
Yeah, but I'm saying you could toss them bitches in like barbecue buffalo sauce.
but it's mostly feathers though.
Well, you're talking about the meat itself.
Yeah, I'm talking about like that.
But it's not that big.
I mean,
It'll be,
it's still a
bigger than
Pegasus.
my
It's
meat.
huge.
It's a giant wing. It's bigger than my body.
It literally tastes. Everything really just tastes like chicken.
Hey, are we really talking about unicorn meat and like
Turtle tastes like chicken.
all of it's
Frog tastes
except
like
for the
chicken.
kraken? That's gonna taste like fish.
As seafood.
All right. So the dragon's gonna taste like chicken.
No, because it's land bound.
Not always.
It has wings. Which dragon are we talking about?
Like a red dragon.
Don't they have wings?
They do have wings,
but
they're
land-bound.
land-based.
They're land bound though.
So is a Pegasus. Is
So
it
for
gonna taste like chicken or not? By your logic, I feel like it won't taste like
I
chicken.
think it'll just taste like horse.
Which one is it, Sherry? I need answers on these mythological animals.
ground.
It's a
Ground beast. I haven't had a horse, so I'd have to try horse.
I'm so mad that
I would have.
we haven't tried horse after all the shit you've told me you've tried.
I don't know.
2024.
It is
I need
not-
to know what a Pegasus tastes
It
like.
is not a standard American food.
Although
We'd have to go to Europe.
we'd probably
It's
have
a
to
thing
find
in
I
some
feel like you
place.
could get that shipped here. Can you get?
I'm not shipping horse to the U.S.
Can I get
Just like, by the way, can I
I'm not having
horse.
horse.
ship horse?
meat?
Please don't Google that.
I don't want to. I don't think I want to.
Immediately said in Toronto.
It's not America. It's not America. Horse is a standard thing.
It filled in the gap. Wait, where can I buy horse meat in Toronto? Like, I'm
It's
like,
not a
ain't
U.S.
America.
thing. I definitely know it's in the U.K. Not the U.K. In Italy, and I definitely know it's in Canada.
okay, we got some questions here.
Oh Jesus!
It is illegal for someone in the United States to
can't
sell
bring it
meat
in.
from a horse for commercial human consumption. This means that
Commercial.
you're not going to be able to find horse meat in grocery stores. And if you decide that you want to sell horse meat to somebody else, that would be illegal. But apparently there are some states where you can get away with it, interestingly enough. On the other hand, states where there's no law against killing your own horse
And then eating
to
it.
eating it for human consumption. Keep that in mind. It's the states, the rules have different blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It is illegal to consume horse meat in Delaware, Hawaii, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island, but Florida says you could eat your horse. You can ride your horse and eat it too.
Oh, gosh.
Ride
It's
your
like
horse.
you've seen that billboard where it's
And
like
eat it too.
your friends.
There's a graph.
Yeah, friends
Yeah.
or edible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And the horse is usually the line.
Like,
but in the apocalypse, I'm eating the horse.
If it gets to that
Yeah, if it gets
point,
to that point, yeah, where
if
like-
there's zombies,
Well,
if
it's
apocalypse,
it's like,
a
you
lot
know,
of things that
it's like
become-
normal every day, and then there is like, you know, economic necessity.
Yeah.
And then there's like
So if you fuck, consuming a horse There's a fucking infographic. Legal or not? Consuming horse meat. Alabama says yes. Alaska says yes. Arizona says yes. Arkansas says yes. California, sure. Colorado, fuck it. Connecticut, yes. Delaware, what's wrong with you? Florida, yes. Georgia, yes. And so on and so forth. It says, yeah, every state says if it's your horse, you could eat it, other than the ones I listed earlier. Rhode Island, Delaware, Massachusetts, Hawaii. Yeah, everyone else says it's your horse, you can do what you want.
I feel like you'll taste like a Pegasus will taste a horse until the wings,
Absolutely.
And then it just gets...
and then it turns into chicken. It's a mythic.
But the dragon should be the same thing then.
Beef.
But then the wings will taste like chicken?
Beef wings.
Who? What beef has wings? What beef has wings? I'm really
Dragons.
We tried to say bye 20 minutes ago, but this is important.
It is important. What does a dragon taste like?
I don't
It
think...
is land bound and only flies when it feels like it.
Yes.
Pegasus is too.
But then it'll taste like
Oh,
horse.
I feel Pegasus has
Both.
more requirements to like fly around
I
than
think
a dragon.
it'll be horse and then it'll taste like chicken. Because everything ends up tasting like chicken.
Now,
Or pork.
does dragon have a natural smoky taste? Because of the fire?
I
It
would.
depends on what type of dragon.
Jesus.
I
Like,
would
what if it's a water dragon?
You're not
like.
wrong.
I would
What if
like,
it's a sea dragon?
If it's a sea dragon, is that fish again?
Is that fish?
So, I mean, being World of Warcraft bound, I would have to definitely say that everything is like beef until otherwise denominated, because you're talking about
You're saying they're all land-bound.
Yeah,
But you
they're
can't
all
tell me that
land.
the horse tastes like chicken and the dragon
But he
doesn't.
doesn't live in the sea.
All right, what about a griffin?
He doesn't live in the ocean.
But griffin, is that
It's partially
Horse.
chicken or beef?
Horse.
I think it's chicken.
Why?
It's just
Low.
lion.
a four-legged chicken.
So you're talking about like lion plus.
I don't
Horse?
eat lion. I don't have a concept of what lion will taste like.
But you said
I
it's
don't.
land-bound.
It is land-bound.
So you're talking about griffin.
But would it-
So
It's
but-
yeah,
lion and an eagle.
But
lion eagle.
would it be chicken deer? Or because it's predator. Predators taste different from herbivores.
We are really deep in the weeds here. But a griffin is a legendary creature with the body, tail, and back legs of a lion, the head and the wings of an eagle, and talons and the front of an eagle. So it's
I don't
half
know.
and half.
A half and
What
half.
does that taste like?
It definitely tastes partially chicken.
What?
Partially, because wings.
It's like
I
that's
don't
the
know.
fatty sides of things.
I wouldn't say.
eagle.
I wouldn't say.
Poultry. It'll taste partially of poultry.
Poultry, like duck, or like
Duck.
Oh,
Or like quail. Game. It'll taste like
gamey.
game.
Will it taste like bison?
I don't.
no. So bison has never. I don't think
also,
any
I
bison
also
has
think you
ever
have to differentiate
tasted
between
air.
a predator or an herbivore.
I do not think that a griffin's a herbivore. I think that's a predator.
So we're talking lots of game.
Gamey muscle.
Yeah. So lots of iron.
Very iron.
I do not see a griffin as something that is running from anyone.
No, I definitely
No,
think
it
irony,
is a
very
predator,
gamey, maybe akin to a venison / chicken.
So why did we not put the Pegasus in the venison?
Because
category?
it's too based on a horse and it's an herbivore.
It's
Yeah.
so is a venison.
It's not eating anything.
It's
What
not-
what is Pegasus eating?
Grass still?
Magical grass or
Still
Magical grass?
or cupcakes. I don't fucking know.
Still horse.
Magical grass.
What?
So they don't have magical
my
cupcakes out in the woods.
I'm just saying that my FBI agent who's tracking my like fucking Google is really confusing right now. What does a Pegasus?
Grass! They eat grass!
Like what would it?
What else would they eat in the forest?
Like let's just say like
Pastures.
free range
Listen,
Pegasus.
someone wrote this down. A Pegasus eats considerable amount of vegetation and has a dietary
right.
requirement of
Vegetarian.
citrus fruits and apples. They typically congregate in loosely affiliated herds of 10 to 25 animals. After breeding for a couple of breeding
Who the
seasons,
heck wrote this?
order.
So
This is a wiki based on like
they eat in Florida, like
They're Floridians?
orange groves.
yeah,
Orange groves.
yeah, Fruit
Citrus?
and citrus and apples.
Citrus and apples. We're also talking like Washington State.
Yeah, Pegasus apparently.
It's
fuck with
it's like
Florida.
Florida or Washington State.
Wait,
Okay,
apparently
we're
after
fine.
they breed, often stallions typically live.
Who's writing? Who wrote this?
Solitary lives. It's from Shadowrun, so it's obviously a D&D.
It is a D&D. Somebody wrote it. They are still horses with wings.
You really want to go down
I don't think they had a concept of where these things grow.
We're going such down deep rabbit hole. I can't do this because now we can go to Greek mythology. I'm not doing this. Guys,
right,
please
we're
tell
good.
us if a Pegasus is chicken or beef.
No, they're horse. I haven't eaten horse before,
it'd be
but
horse.
they would be horse.
It would
be
definitely
horse.
be like
can't
some
say-
low fat content beef.
You can't.
Basically.
But she said the wings earlier would be chicken.
I don't think it
The
would be chicken.
wings,
That doesn't. The dragon wings better be chickeny.
they might be.
I swear to Christ, I'd be so pissed.
Oh,
I killed this dragon.
Are they beef
For-
wings?
for
What
me,
is a beef wing?
I don't even know.
So,
exactly.
I'm
It's
thinking like
mythology.
I'm thinking
I don't know.
like beef rib.
beef rib, maybe.
But the beef can have ribs. Beef has not
Yes.
had wings.
Beef has not had wings yet.
Fuck me sideways. The things we discuss in Bourbon and Bullshit are.
Would it be a beefier?
Oh my god. There's so many like animals I want to like find out. All I'm saying is, at least we established that kraken is just basically lobster, like giant fucking seafood
No,
lobster.
it'd just be a giant squid or
Yeah.
a
Giant calamari.
giant calamari.
Yeah, that's fair.
delicious.
We've agreed on
Be
that.
delicious.
100% we're aligned there.
I still think dragon would taste like beef.
I don't want to know what a sphinx tastes like.
I don't think I'd want to eat it. They're too intelligent.
Yeah, and too much like a human. The face.
It's too
Someone said centaur, and I was like, "You're eating a dude."
too much int.
Someone said centaur, like, "Oh, it's because the horse part." I was like, "That's a dude."
That's a person. There's
That's
a
a
whole
dude.
personality
That's a dude.
with like conversation.
Yeah,
There's like
Or a dudette.
text 1, 2, 3, 4.
at least half of that is a homie. Like, that's not fucking okay to kill that.
There are cannibals
Yeah.
out there.
Ah, that's fair. That's
Centaur, not okay.
came up with Wendigo, cannibalistic, really skinny, crazy. We're not doing it. This is a really weird show, guys. I love that though. This has been a lot of fucking fun. Thanks for everyone who's been listening. And if you have a preference of what mythological animal you would like to eat, please fucking share with us because I'm still convinced that beef wings aren't a thing. But here we are today discussing
Buffalo
this.
Wild Wings.
Buffalo-
That's our takeaway.
That's our takeaway. Big shout out to Buffalo Wild Wings bringing us mythological animal features and food. Basting bitches with butter and some hot sauce, and like it's a gourmet dish. Brian, we're going to start with you. Do you have anything to tell everyone on your way out of the show as we continue to discuss off air why Kraken might not be the best answer?
No, just continue being awesome. Try to pursue your goals and be the best person you can be.
Goddamn, these people hear motivational speeches and fucking taking care of us. I like that. Thank you, Brian, because it's 2024 and motherfuckers have to, have some roads that they want to pave and get right. Thank you for that. Sherry,
What?
anything you want to say to all the listeners at home that are judging the buffalo, the beef wings? Or on your way out, anything?
On
Thank
my
you for
way
coming in and anything you want to say to everyone?
Priority, just support local. Support local. Support the people that you want to succeed in life.
Shout out to my Patreon.
And don't be a dick.
Damn, I don't know.
Oh yeah,
Now that this,
definitely.
that-
You can, okay. Be a nice dick?
Yeah, there we go.
All right.
I'm back in, guys. I'm back in there, Graces. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Studio audience, do you have anything to say bye to? Anyone? All right, she said no. Fuck yeah, get off the show.
I'm tired. It's 11.
Guys, thanks for tuning into the show. It's been a lot of fun. Hopefully you enjoyed some of those conversations and you try some of the places that Sherry and Brian brought to the table. I know for a fact that me and my fiance are trying a good amount of those. She's been taking notes and I've been also trying to move money into my savings account to make sure that I'm just not broke after. But everything we've been doing and hopefully you guys have been enjoying it. We've been trying to get creative with some things. We have the Patreon is up. I've been joking about it. We have that. Facebook is getting a lot more active, and we're going to come out with some swag before Valentine's because what's better to get your loved one other than a Bourbon and Bullshit Valentine's themed shirt? It'll come up into the shop and it'll be in the show notes. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. Follow us on Instagram at bourbon_and_BS because I can't curse everywhere. It's not going to go well for me. Make sure that you guys are clicking like, subscribe, sharing the show with people, leaving a 5-star review, and telling us how awesome the show is. And if you have a negative review, look at a different podcast. Or leave us a 5-star review and tell me why you think it sucks. Guys, thanks for hanging out with us. And hopefully you guys enjoyed. Try some of these things. And see you guys next week. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey guys, today's episode is brought to you by Burn Termite and Pest Control. I first met Joe Byrne on Full Frontal Nerdity Show and decided to give his company a try. They have been the best pest service I've ever had, from flexible scheduling, attention to detail, fair pricing, and everything you love about a small business. I highly recommend Joe Byrne and Burn Termite and Pest Control. It's a family-owned and operated business with over 30 years of experience in termite and pest. You can reach Burn Termite and Pest Control at 321-297-7985. Once again, 321-297-7985. And let them know Bourbon and Bullshit sent you. Thanks, guys. See you next time.